Hi guys, it's Cal from Dirty Weasel. Welcome back to the mod organizer for Fallout 3 series. This episode is focused on two mods. Weapon mod kits that allows you to add modifications to your weapons, hence the name. And Rogue Hollow's Ironsights, which improves the aiming system for better first-person shooter action. We will cover all the compatibility patches needed to make them work together, and then add in an ammo crafting system. To finish things off, we'll install our first merge patch using Fo3 Edit. So once again, it's off to the desktop. Alright guys, so let's get started here, and we have a new format to accommodate my new much larger screen, and we're going to have Kelmych's guide open on the left hand side with all of the internet tabs we got going on. Let's close that, don't need it. And on the right hand side, of course, we have Mod Organizer, Fallout 3, ready to go. On Kelmych's guide, if we come on down, we scroll down to section number, was it 20? 21. Do you feel lucky? This is where we'll be having most of our stuff in the first half of this video. And you go down there, you can see, do you feel lucky right there? And you come down and you can see weapon mod kits and right hand Ironsights FOSE. So, you know, basically weapon mod kits is pretty straightforward. The instructions here, you can follow along. And then when we get down to right hand Ironsights, these instructions are pretty necessary. I would go ahead and read these and be familiar with them. So let's go ahead and go to the first one we're going to do, and that's weapon mod kits. And you can see the mod number right there. It is 3388, and it is done by Antistar. Antistar is one of those great modders out there that does a lot of technical stuff and does stuff for both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. And what this does is going to add modifications for your weapons just like we had in Fallout New Vegas. Basically, you know, you come down and read all this stuff, and it's going to give you a bunch of information about all the different possible additions that you can add to your weapons. And what it does is we'll add a schematic that allows you to mod your weapon and basically little kits. One of the things I want to point out to you is compatibility. There's a couple different compatibility programs that come with this. And there is the Fallout Interoperability Fallout program, and that's FOIP. And that has compatibility patches. And then there's also the WMK FWE right-hand RH Ironsights right there. We'll be installing that in this version of this video because I think it's the most compatible one we have. So first thing we want to do is go over to Files. And you can see Weapon Mod Kits. We're going to need that for sure. Download that with Manager. Come over to our downloads and you can see I already have it right here. Then you come down. I wouldn't suggest using the AA-12 combat shotgun replacer. It's kind of wonky, and I think there's better ones out there. If you want to go find a mesh to change the combat shotgun, go ahead and go find it. They're out there. The next thing we want to do is get all of these compatibility patches for the DLC. When you have Game of the Year Edition, it has all of the DLCs, right? That's what we're running with. So you're going to need to download all of these with Manager. You have Broken Steel Compatibility, download with Manager. Mothership Zeta, download with Manager. Operation Anchorage, download with Manager. Point Lookout, download with Manager. And the Pit, download with Manager. Get all those downloaded, and you can see them over here, right? Broken Steel, Zeta, Operation Anchorage, Point Lookout, the Pit, and there they all are. So we can go ahead and minimize this down just so we have a clear space to work with. And we will start installing these. And the first thing we're going to do is Weapon Mod Kits. Double click to install, check Manual, and you can see we have all this stuff here. All right, go ahead and click OK. And we select Activate. And we'd come through and just go ahead and do all the different DLCs. And double click to install. And you can see it's already named Weapon Mod Kits. Weapon Mod Kits right there. You click Manual, and looks OK. Click OK, and it's going to say it's already installed. Yep, it is. It's right there. So we want to merge that in. And we do the same thing with Zeta. Manual. Looks good. Merge it in. I'm going to move these over a little bit so we can actually see what I've done here. So you can see I've kind of changed my formatting a little bit to make it a little easier to see. So you can see the next one to do is Operation Anchorage. Manual, Meshes, Mod Kits. Go ahead, click OK, and Merge. And that's the key to this, is just make sure that you're installing all these and merging them into the main file. Manual, OK, Merge, and then finally the last one to do is the pit. Manual, looks good, hit OK, and Merge. Right? So when you open this up, go to the optional ESPs, you can see all of the DLCs are right here. And you have weapon mod kits at the bottom. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and close that. Right? So weapon mod kits is all installed. That's basically, the main portion of this. There will be patches later on, but we'll cover that later on in this video. So that's the second half. We go back to the internet, back to Kelmych, and we'll go down to right-hand Ironsights, RH Ironsights. I always call it right-hand, right? It's not, it's RH, and we'll get to that in a second. FOSE by Rogue Hollow. Right-hand, there I go again. Rogue Hollow Ironsights. If you go to the main page, right there, mod number 6938, done by Rogue Hollow. You can read all about the mod, and basically it's going to turn that funky off to the right-hand side weapon, and then you have the crosshairs. That's a better picture. It's going to turn into this, okay? Before you had it off to the side, you saw that in the last episode where I said I was going to fix it, and we are. So this is going to make it more like, aiming in Fallout New Vegas where you aim down the sights of the weapon. It's actually a lot better. So there's one thing special about this, and that is when you come over to Kelmych's instructions, it will say installation, get the merge plugin version of RH Ironsights from the Paradox Ignition page. Well, what is the Paradox Ignition page? All right, let's go to that next. Paradox Ignition is a set of mods that merges multiple ESPs together into one easy thing to do. So if you come down to RH Ironsights, all of these plugins right here have been merged into a single plugin. Do you get that? Basically it's going to take all these ESPs and merge it down to just one ESP. And that's what we're going to use for this. We don't even need to install the main files from RH Ironsights. If you come over to the files, see all this stuff? You're not going to need it. There is one file in here, and we'll come back to that in just a second, but you're not going to need all this stuff. Let's go over to Paradox Ignition and go to the file section, and you'll come down to RH Ironsights Merge. 12 plugins merged into one. Yes, that's what we need, because we're going to have a lot of mods. Download this with Manager. RH Ironsights Merge. Download with Manager. And you see I have it right there. It's over here in Mod Organizer, already ready to go. So you're going to go ahead and download that manually. And you see Paradox Ignition presents the mergers, and we're going to actually change the name of this. We're going to change it to Paradox Ignition, RH Ironsights. There we go. Now we know what it is. Before it was just the mergers, right? So go ahead and click Manual. And you're going to see it's meshes, readmes, textures, PISites.png. We really don't need that, but you can leave it in there for right now. RHIronsights.esm. It's an ESM file. So it took all those ESPs, merged them into one ESM. It looks good. And we can go ahead and click to activate. I'm going to go ahead and ignore this update. Just ignore it. Don't worry about it too much. And when you open this up, optional ESPs, RH Ironsights. It only has one. We used to have 12, now it has one. Your plugins will thank you later, because when you come down and you look at it, RH Ironsights is just one ESM right up here at the top. All right, so there's nothing to worry about now. When you look at conflicts on these, the right-hand Ironsights, it's changing Fallout Wanderer's Edition Fo3, okay? And then it's also changing Point Lookout. We knew that it would do that. Weapon Mod Kits is going to change FWE-Fo3 Wanderer's Edition. All right, well, now we start getting into the merges. So now that that's done, there is some special instructions here for, putting this together. And that's basically if you come down and you look at it, Kelmych's instructions, is you're going to install the main file, which we've done, the RH Ignition Iron right-hand RH Ironsights. There I go again. And then on the original page, and this is kind of where it gets a little confusing, is install this with mod orders. Then on the original mod page, RH Ironsights FOSE, we talked about this. On the original mod page, you're going to come down and you're going to get the RH Ironsights WMK bridge. Let's take a look at that. The RH Ironsights Fallout 3 Reanimated. That's right, Fallout 3 Reanimated bridge file and the RH Ironsights WMK bridge. We haven't got to the Fallout 3 Reanimated bridge needing that yet. So we're just going to go ahead and get the RH Ironsights WMK bridge. All right. You can get the RH Ironsights Eve bridge, but you're going to not use it anyways. Install the two optional files, or in our case, just the one file with Mod Organizer. Once it is installed, double-click on the mod in the left pane of Mod Organizer and select the optional ESP tabs. Move the RH WMK bridge ESP to optional ESPs. Only the meshes from the associated optional file are needed. Okay, so what you're going to do is you come over to Downloads, and you're going to have the WMK bridge. This is it right here, the RH Ironsights WMK bridge. Go ahead and double-click to install, and you see it's RH Ironsights FOSE. That's fine. We're going to click Manual. No game data on top, so just go and set a directory. Meshes, texture, meshes, readmes, and an RH WMK bridge. It looks good. Go ahead and install. All right, we can go to ignore that update. You're going to click to activate, and then double click to open it up. And this is the optional ESPs he's talking about. So you're going to take that and move it up. So it's now no longer activated. You can go ahead and close that down. And when you highlight that, if you look at the conflicts, you're going to see it's going to be overriding a bunch of meshes, basically. Don't worry too much about that, but that's just basically what it's doing. Is it's taking those meshes that are in here and overriding these other things. So here's what we do with this patch. You always want to have it below whatever it's changing. We want these to be changing these things, so in your priority list in the left tab, you want to have it below these. If you put it up here, it's not going to work correctly. You need to have it down here. That's how we want this to be for conflicts, because we want it to be overriding these things. That's all there is to it. I want you to go and leave this as its own separate file, because it won't work correctly if it's in here. So just remember that. So let's talk more about patches. We'll go back up to the top, and you'll go down to where we were at, section 21. Come back down here to Compatibility Patches. Compatibility Patches is, oh my gosh, so much effort to try and figure out what you want to do. Well, Kelmych has tried to make it a little simpler, and he's going to give you a bunch of patches for different things. We'll come back to this. We're going to need that. And you keep scrolling down. Conditional patches. With the big mods, in other words, like FWE rather, Project Beauty, it's now called Fallout 3 Redesigned. And you throw in weapon mod kits. Then you throw in RH Ironsights. Then you throw in Mart's Mutant mod. And then you could probably throw in Eve. You're going to need different patches for different combinations of things. So what you do is you'll look at this list and say, well, I only have FWE and Project Beauty. You'll only need the FOIP. This is a Fallout Interoperability Program, Project Beauty, and FWE. Right? You can just go ahead and go to those sections and read about it and go and get the appropriate mods. When you come down here, you'll say, well, I want to throw in weapon mod kits. Well, you'll need this version, and you'll need FWE and Project Beauty patch for that, and then you'll need weapon mod kits and FWE, that patch as well. So there's two of them you'll need to get. And the same thing goes down when you look at all these different combinations, right? He'll tell you on what you're going to need. So there's the Fallout Interoperability Program, and then there's Blackened. We'll get into these when we start actually integrating the different mods that we have to use. We'll probably, this series will either use option 4, that one right here, right there, FWE, Project Beauty, Weapon Mod Kits, RH Ironsights, and Mars Mutant Mod. With that, we'll need to get the Blackened patch and the RH Ironsights FWE-WMK compatible patch. FWE, this is the one that Antistar recommended right here. Okay, that mod. So it's either going to be that one or number 5. All right, it's going to be one of those two, or maybe 6. I haven't really decided yet. It'll probably be either 4 or 6. So anyways, the patch we'll end up getting is probably come from Blackened, but the one that we'll definitely need for sure is the RH Ironsights FWE compatible right there. So let's go ahead, since we don't have Mars Mutant Mod or Project Beauty installed yet, we'll just go down and take a look at it. RH Ironsights FWE compatible. Kelmych says it is a core one because basically it's going to be needed for almost all of the ones that are listed here that uses weapon mod kits and RH Ironsights. Right? That's why it's listed as a core. Basically, you're almost going to need it all the time. So that's the one we're going to need for this. Let's go take a look at that. RH Ironsights, done by Stabby Carrot. It is mod 17757. And it's not much to read about. It's basically just an edited version of RH Ironsights compatibility patch. Blah, 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 blah. Just trust me, you're going to need to get the files. It's an unfortunately named ESP. That's all the name of the mod is, ESP. You're going to download that with Manager. Come over to your downloads, and you can see I already have it right here. So that's step 1. There's another patch that we're going to need, and it's actually up. Where is it at? There it is. So there's this other patch, and it's the FWE Ironsights 8 included. And what this patch does is changes some of the meshes to make them compatible with RH Ironsights and FWE. Only these 2 meshes, and this is the 2 he's talking about. Download Lewis Mark II and the MP M9 PPK12 YK32. And we'll go take a look at those, but that's what we're going to need to change the meshes to make it compatible with RH Ironsights and FWE. So when you come over to FWE Ironsights 8 included by Woo Cow, mod number 15440. Come down to the file section. There's 2 that Kelmych is recommending getting, and that's the Lewis Mark II and the M9 PPK12 YK32. These are the 2 primary meshes that we're talking about here. Kelmych says that inasmuch as the meshes will be needed to fill out what the compatibility patches that we'll be covering in RH Ironsights WMK FWE compatible. That's very confusing, I know. Just trust me that you're going to need to fill out these meshes. All these compatibility patches will drive you crazy. So you're going to need to get these 2 patches. So let's go take a look. It is the Lewis Mark II. Download that with Manager, and the M9 PPK12 YK32. I have those over here already downloaded. You can see that. And the last thing we're going to need is down here in the compatibility patches yet again is the ammunition schematics for FWE-WMK-Craft and the full caliber. Remember, FWE has Craft and Caliber in it. So we need it to add patches for ammunition schematics to work with these things. And what this does will add schematics to the different vendors so you can buy them and then make ammunition. And you'll see it in game when I go show you all this stuff. But basically, you go to this and it's the last one on the list. On the Nexus, it is mod 18639, done by Highlander 4242. And you can see all this stuff down here. Basically, it'll allow you to disassemble things to get gunpowder. You use scrap metal, right? Scrap metal and gunpowder. And then you can go ahead and make ammunition. And you'll get different schematics to do that. Under the file section, there's only one file to download. It's the Calibr version 14 Amination Schematics for FWE-WMK-Craft version 1.3. Go ahead and download that with Manager as well. And you can see I have it over here on this side. We're going to minimize this down just so we have more space so we can clean this up a little bit. So this is the first one. This is the right-hand Ironsights FWE-WMK compatible. Click to install. Looks good. Click OK. And activate. Now when you highlight that, you don't see make any changes. That's because it's basically a bridge to make everything work together. So once again, you just got to remember to have it below FWE and WMK. Even though it doesn't say it's making any changes, you still need to do that. You still need to make sure it's below these two things right here, FWE and WMK, in your Priorities tab. So, and the next one we're going to do is those meshes that we talked about to make them work with RH Ironsights. Double click to install. It's FWE Ironsights 8 included. Go ahead and click Manual. No game data on top, so right click it, set game data, and it's meshes. It looks good. And then we come down to the M9 PPK12 WYK32. Double click to install. See it's the same name, FW Ironsights 8 included. Click Manual. Once again, right click at Data. Set data on top. Meshes looks good. And we want to merge it in. Just go ahead and ignore that update. And you activate. Now this one will have mesh changes for Fallout Wanderers Edition. That's because if you come and look at the conflicts, it is changing the meshes that are included by those weapons. And that's all. That's all it's doing, is to make sure that it works correctly. If you wanted to, I would go ahead and slide this up. It's the only thing that is making a change on this is FWE. So I would have those meshes already in place before you get down here. So the last thing we're going to do is the Calibr 14 Amination Schematics. Double click to install, click Manual, and it has a Calibr ESM and a Calibr 14 Amination Schematics for FWE, blah, blah, blah. Click OK. Now there are special instructions for this. Go ahead and double click. Come to the optional ESPs. I want you to take the Calibr ESM and move it up. That's all we're doing for that. If you read Kelmych's instructions for Amination Schematics, it'll say the exact same thing. Go ahead and close that down. We're going to minimize this a little bit. Now, one of the things that is problematic, we now have all this stuff, is load order and making a patch. Let's go ahead and go to our plugins. You can see we have all this new stuff in here, and we want to go ahead and these are all the DLCs that weren't activated by merging them into WMK. We have to have those activated. And we're going to go ahead and go to loot, and we're going to run loot. You can see now we have the dirty edit for RH-Ironsights.esm. We'll need to clean that. And we have a bunch of identical to masters and weapon mod kits and the Calibr 14 ammunition schematic. And in the last episode, we showed you how to clean those. But we're not going to do this right now. I'm just going to move on to the next step, and we're going to sort our plugins. Let me scroll down. You can see it actually moves some stuff around. Go ahead and click Apply and close it down. So it actually made some changes there really fast. Loot's done. We will assume that you clean those dirty edits using the instructions you found in the episode on cleaning dirty edits. And we'll move on to making a merge patch. And for that, we're going to use Fo3 Edit. If you go to my episode 17 of my Fallout New Vegas series, that will give you instructions on basically, how to make a merge patch. We're going to show it to you real fast. But, if you want to make a bash patch, that will work just as well. It's a little more complicated, but the instructions are basically the same. There are no big differences in that. But the only difference for us in using Fo3 Edit is we're using Fo3 Edit, which you downloaded from Modding Tools, right? Yes, I'm sure you did. So what you're going to do is run Fo3 Edit, click Run, and it's going to give you all your ESPs. Now what you will need to do is make sure that the list is basically matching what you have in your Plugins tab. And you should. So go ahead and click OK. It's going to run through the builder here and it'll give you some information. It's now talking about building and references. And when you get to the point where it says background loader is finished, right there, you know you're done. Once you go to the bottom of the list, highlight that, right-click on it, and then we are going to go down to Other, all the way down here at the bottom, and we are going to create a merge patch. Just go ahead and click it, and you're going to name it. And we're going to call it Fo3 Merge Patch. Just like that. Go ahead and click OK. Give it a second, and scroll down. There it is. Fo3 Merge Patch.esp. You're going to go ahead and close Fo3 Edit. It's going to give you another window. And it's saying the only thing that it's changed is it's created Fo3 Merge Patch.esp. If you have anything else here, you know you've done it wrong. Do not click Backup Plugins. It'll just throw it into your overwrite and don't worry about it. Go ahead and click OK. And when Mod Organizer unlocks, it's going to give you a message. There are files in your overwrite mod. Okay. Let's go take a look. Open your overwrite, so you double click on it, and it's going to be an Fo3 Merge Patch.esp. Okay. Go ahead and close it again. You'll right click on overwrite and create mod. Now, when you create a mod for this, I want you to create it using the name of the profile in which this mod is created. So basically, just go ahead and for this, it'll be Dirty Weasel Merge Patch. And there we have it. So when you activate this, you see over down here at the bottom, Fo3 Merge Patch. So what this has done is taken all the inconsistencies that you may have in this list right here, kind of mushed them all together and create a compatibility patch to run the game. One thing about merge patches and bash patches is that whenever you add a mod or take away a mod, you'll need to recreate your merge patch using the same technique I just showed you. Because if you come over and take a look at Fo3 Merge Patch and just hover over it, it's going to show you all of those masters. All those enabled masters may change based off of the plugins list you have on the right side. So you can see why taking one away or putting something new in, it's not going to work correctly. So you'll need to do that every time. And we'll be doing that for every episode from here on out, is creating a new merge patch. So now we're ready to run the game. So we go back up to FOSE and we click run. We're going to go see what we got. All right, here we are in game. You can see already in the top left-hand corner, we're getting some new information. These are all the stuff we just loaded in. All this good stuff here. So we'll let it go through. You can see, I guess it's finished now. So open up your Pip-Boy. There we go. It's under Aid. So you see here gun oil. That's the configuration menu for RH Ironsights. Click that. And you can set all your different things. You know, set weapon modification hotkeys. Adjust Ironsight hand drift. Turn off Ironsight's blur. Adjust weapon settings. All these different things. Alright. So basically you can go through and play with all these different things. I'm just going to go ahead and put it away for now. There we go. Now the biggest thing you'll notice is you now have Ironsights. Very cool, huh? So we'll just go ahead and go back inside. We'll run into Moira's so we can use her bench. So here we are in Moira's, and I forgot to show you. You know, basically we'll show. Get my gun out. You have the Ironsights for that. And you can have Ironsights for assault rifles. And revolver rifles. And of course the you know, the sniper rifle. It's still the same old thing. Alright, that's not what I wanted to show you. Come over here, and you look on Moira's bench, you can actually see she has a mod kit already there. You also see there's some gunpowder ready to go. And there. So when you go over to activate your workbench, what would you like to create? You can actually add a weapon modification. What would you like to do with your currently equipped weapon? I want to add a modification. I can attach a scope to it. Anything else? No. Start crafting. And it'll take some time. You can change these settings in the menu. And how long it will take. When you come back in, pull out your weapon. You can see that assault rifle now has a scope on it.
Got something to sell?
Let me see what you have for sale.
Absolutely.
So when you go over to Moira's selection of things, go to miscellaneous. Now you have schematics for different types of ammunition. Whole bunch of schematics for different types of ammunition. And you just keep scrolling down. You can see she actually has some of the weapon mod kits already there. Extend magazine and a scope kit. Right? I have to go now.
Have fun out there, okay?
So that's basically it. Everything works. Everything's ready to go. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, I can actually change the weapon to different things.
I hope you know what you're doing.
That's it, guys. We got all those mods going. We got WMK weapon mod kits up and running. We got RH Ironsights up and running. And we got all the compatibility patches all installed so they all work together. So that's it for now. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel. And I'm signing off.